Hello, everyone, and welcome back to It's Okay Not to Be Fabulous Every Day. I'm Cyrus Webb, joined by my co host, Dalsimer, whose book this show is based on. I want to welcome you guys tuning in on these simulcasts on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X. Going to bring in our friends over on IG so they can be part of our chat. And last but certainly not least, going to connect with our friends over on Amazon Live as well. Have another great one for you guys today. I think you guys are going to really appreciate this. It's a message that I think all of us need, myself included. So hopefully you guys will get something out of it. I want to type a welcome message in for you guys over on the Amazon Live side. And if you guys are new to us on Amazon, make sure you guys do hit that follow button either here in this corner or down below. You also will see Allie's book there. You guys can get it in print, the Kindle edition, and the audiobook as well. Allie and I were just together last week in Richmond, Virginia. So we'll remind you guys about that experience. But Allie, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Cyrus. It's just exciting to be here with you again, and I'm just so glad we got to meet finally.
I know, I know. I was saying to Allie that it did not seem like it was our first time meeting, even though it was. But it just felt like being with an old friend. So, Allie, I want to say thank you for making the trip into town to be a part of that. It was great to be able to share the space with you as well. And again, I was saying to you before we went live here, this is a great tie-in, I think, to today's message because I think one thing I tell people I I'm good at what I do, but the things I'm not good at, I really suck. And one of the things I don't do very well is really taking time, really from anything. I'm very much into just what I do, and I love it so much, so I don't even think about what I'm not enjoying or marinating on. But how important has that been for you, Allie, as we're wrapping up now February, which is again another insane thing that I mean, when we come together next month for our, to wrap up the series, we'll be in March. How important has it been for you to take that time to kind of breathe and to reflect?
I don't know because I'm not really good at it either. I'm not really that good at it, but maybe when the series is over, I'll take time to reflect on it and look
Yeah,
back and see how
yeah.
it went. And yeah, I really am trying very hard to be forward focused and
Mm,
future focused,
yeah,
and just lean into new possibilities and opportunities.
yeah. I'm with you. I mean, and I think that's why we get along so well. Hey, the crazy Kurt girl, good to be to see you. Coldface28, hello to you over there on IG. Jane, hey Jane, good to be able to see you over there on IG as well. And I think that's why you and I probably gelled so quickly together, Allie, because we're a lot alike, I
Yeah.
believe, when it comes to the way we approach our work, approach our lives, and what we do. However, I will say that when I was prepping for today's message, Allie, and of course we'll be getting into it here in a bit, I do think about that. I don't believe in regrets, right? And I can honestly say I don't do anything I don't want to do. But what this message did remind me of when I read it preparing for today, and I hope our audience thinks about this when they hear it, is how you do want to make sure you're taking that time for yourself. And I can't say I necessarily do that in the way I probably should, right? I mean, you and I were just talking about even when I travel, I don't take days off in between. I just get right back into my routine and get back into the hustle and bustle of things. What about for yourself? Do you have those moments, Allie, when you think about, you know what, just taking a day just for yourself?
Every day's for myself. The exceptions are the days that aren't for myself.
Okay.
I do what I want every day too. I think you do as well. And
Yeah.
that's taking a day for yourself to do what you
Yeah.
want to do. You just
Yeah.
happen to want to do interviews and meet people, and
Right.
that's your thing you want to do. But
Right.
a great day for myself is just it's a little pathetic, but I like to stand at my computer and write. That's
Yeah.
that's a privilege that I can do that. And
Yeah.
we were talking before the show about the fact that tomorrow I've just let all my what I call my life stuff accumulate to such an extent that I've got this huge stack of things that really do have to get done.
Yeah.
And insurance companies and paying bills and grocery shopping. I'm literally out of food.
Hmm.
So I have to take a life day. And
Yeah.
some people might consider that a day off. I consider it as a day of work because that to me is more of a drudgery.
Yeah. Yeah. You just got your first compliment, Allie.
Aw.
ESP Presents says, "Oh my goodness, I love everything she has on." Hello,
Oh,
Cyrus.
yay.
Well, yeah, it's gonna tie into our message for today, Ellen. So make sure you guys. I got a chance to meet Ellen in person too in Petersburg. Wasn't it? Yeah,
Oh,
Petersburg,
that's awesome.
yeah, Virginia as well. We've been knowing each other for 20 years online, Allie. Had never met before until this past
Wow.
weekend. Uh,
Wow.
and ESP
So I
Presents
feel
is
kind of privileged because we've only known each other for, a handful of years. So,
yeah, yeah. So it's been incredible. But you're right. I mean, I think it all does come down to perspective. But I do think that one thing that our audience hopefully will have a chance to think about as we're wrapping up this month is that to make even when life is doing its thing, to be able to
mhm,
take out that little time for yourself. And you're right, Allie. You and I are in unique positions that we typically are able just to do what we love doing. And I think sometimes what I may fall into, this doesn't happen to me very often. But now that I'm hearing myself say this out loud, I think sometimes I judge what my downtime should look like based on other people. If that makes sense.
yeah, yeah. You're
Um,
comparing your journey to other people. It's the
yeah,
big no-no, Cyrus. Big
Yeah,
no-no.
that's what I'm saying, which I don't do professionally. I
Right.
don't even think about other people, but personally, I think because I guess I hear comments even from my family sometimes, "You work all the time," or "You're always working," and, my dad said to me the other day, he says, "You're one of the hardest working people I know,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "Really?"
Yeah.
You
But
know?
that's great. I mean, if you're
Yeah,
enjoying it, that's fine. And there's a difference between um, doing, engaging in activities that are technically work related versus leisure activities
mhm,
versus enjoying what you're doing and not enjoying it. And if you're
yeah,
enjoying what you're doing for a work activity, then that's fine. And if you don't enjoy doing the leisure activity, then why would you want? And in terms of me, you asked about downtime earlier on. I do take leisure time.
mhm,
I binge my BBC mysteries in the evenings, and I get to the end of the day, and I have to do physical therapy and things for an accident I was in, and
mhm,
um, I make some dinner, and then I play with my cat a little, and then I usually watch an hour or two of something, and then I go to bed and read.
yeah,
And so technically those are all leisure activities.
yeah,
It's just my
yeah.
winding down time from the day.
Exactly. And I actually, in my defense, I just thought about too on Fridays when I'm in town, not when I'm out of town, but when I'm home, I do take a 3-hour block on my Fridays.
Hmm.
Because Fridays, I was sharing with you, that's my least busy day from broadcasting, and so I typically will not block off 3 hours on my to do list for that day to just do whatever I want to do, which probably ends up writing or drawing. So I still end
Hmm.
up doing stuff. Vino Davis, hello to you over there on Facebook. Good to see you as well. Chris says hello to you. Alan says that you're looking radiant as ever. And
Aw.
what she's wearing today, Chris, is going to tie into today's message. So, Allie, I'm going to turn it
Thank
over
you,
to you.
Chris. Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Today's message is: I like nonsense. It wakes up the brain cells. Dr. Seuss. Here's a fun fact: the number of neurons in our brains is equivalent to the number of stars in the galaxy. What an amazing capacity we have to be creative and imaginative. Yet, how many of us take advantage of our unique capabilities? Freeing our minds doesn't mean not doing the shopping, cooking, laundry, pickup, drop off, paying bills, etc. It means that by allowing our thoughts to wander during menial tasks, we can avoid total immersion in our daily grinds and liberate our subconscious to perceive what success means for us. While indulging in a bit of free time, our subconscious may unveil a deep desire or talent we hadn't previously acknowledged or understood. Opening ourselves and our minds can release infinite insights into who we are and who we want to be. Each of us has a gift. And even though our gifts differ, everyone has the potential to excel in some way and love doing it. Once you know your ambition, you can take that first step, deciding to make a change. As long as you continue to make choices that feel right for you consistently and over the long term, you are moving in the right direction. Whatever your dream is, be bold. Take charge of your destiny. Be willing to look silly in new situations, and don't let naysayers or circumstances drag you down or pull you away. You have one life to live, so live it fully.
Yeah. I want to ask you. I hadn't thought about it until I heard you reading it, Allie. This is very interesting. A great message. Hey, Stacy, good to see you over there on IG. The Lynn Corner. Hello to you. This is a really important message. And but hearing you read it, I thought about how different is this message than the way you grew up.
Oh, very different.
Hmm.
Very different. Well, I don't know. I mean, my very early years, I don't really remember them well, but I think I had a great deal of freedom in those
Okay.
early years,
Okay.
which are formative.
Hmm.
And maybe that's why I've come back to that way of thinking and way of living
Hmm.
as I've sort of rediscovered who I am.
Yeah.
Um, but you know, my elementary, high school kind of days were not perhaps as, I don't know what the right word is. They weren't as free or supported as perhaps they could have been.
Yeah. Well, and let me tell you what made me think to ask you that question when you read the quote from Dr. Seuss, because just hearing those words, I like nonsense. It wakes up the brain cells. Most people who are driven a certain way, I know myself included, would think, "Oh, but that doesn't make any sense. That's no, that's not. That's counterproductive." So, do you think the Ally Dalsimer of today appreciates that more than maybe the one that grew up in that time where things were different?
100%. I love nonsense. I love nonsense. And I
Yeah.
love the freedom of being able to think creatively, which builds, this chapter builds directly on the Pearl S. Buck. You asked me at the end of last week what I hope people take. And I said that I hope people remember what it is to be young and to dream without boundaries and to feel
Yeah.
like they can do anything. And part of that is embracing nonsense, is embracing the things that, life doesn't always have to make sense. What you do
Yeah.
and say doesn't always have to make sense. You can
Right.
just be, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I had the strangest look last summer, into last summer, fall, whatever it was, before the weather got too cold to be out. I like to go for walks. We all heard me say that. I love long walks.
Hmm.
Um, and I was listening to music and I just started dancing down the sidewalk. And there was this, it was great because I didn't pass a whole lot of people because I do work from home. So I walk in the day and there's not a whole lot of people around. But
Yeah.
there was a mom pushing a stroller and she gave me a look like, is this woman on drugs? What is wrong with this woman? I just was like, whatever, and I ignored her. And then I
Right.
passed this lady, and she was on her knees, and she was pulling dandelions with one of these little tools. She was
Hmm.
pulling dandelions out by hand from her yard. Older lady, definitely in her like 80s or something. And she just looked at me and got the biggest grin on her face, and I was like, yeah, you know exactly what it is. Like, you know how to
Yeah.
live life.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful to have those two perspectives. But
Hmm.
it's just, we allow ourselves to get so bogged down and we take ourselves so seriously. And why? You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
why?
Well, I think it goes to the point you were making. I think a lot of it's the way we were taught. We were taught that, wasting time was bad.
Mhm.
Not doing something productive was bad. Now, no one ever said that to me, Allie. I can say my family never said it to me, but looking at them, I realized they seemed the most fulfilled when they were working, and I think that kind of shaped my view of working. We spent time outside and did, my dad used to love to grill. I remember that and that kind of thing. But the fulfillment seemed to be in the way I perceived it connected to work, and I think I kind of picked up on that. Chris on Facebook says, I also have trouble remembering my late teenage years, but I do remember having a good bit of freedom. And maybe that's the reason I can't remember.
Maybe so. I love that. I love that.
Oh my goodness, I love that. That's good. That's good. Well, you actually said in this message, when it comes to freeing our minds, you say, Allie, we can avoid total immersion in our daily grind and liberate our subconscious to perceive what success means for us. And I think that goes to how we began today's show, right? Because again, as I tell my friends all the time, success is personal, and it's going to look different for everyone, as it should, because what you want I may not want, what I want you may not want. How has it liberated you today, Allie, to know that it's okay to just not do?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lesson that I first started to learn. My husband was really big on um, visiting. It's a Southern expression.
Hmm.
Visit,
Yeah.
visit with someone. You
Yeah.
hang out and you chat,
Mhm.
and don't do anything. And I
Yeah.
was like, no. I mean, even if I was watching television, I was paying bills. I was
Hmm.
um, something. I was always had to be doing something.
Right.
Um, uh, and he was just like, let's just visit. And I remember the first time we sat outside in these like folding lawn chairs, and we were sitting, and I was so antsy. I'm like, okay, we're not doing anything. And he was like, well, just talk. And I was like, but
Yeah.
as I've become more comfortable with who I am, and as I've defined success, which is similar to the way you define it, I define it as loving what you do, who you are, and who you're doing with. And
Mm.
as I've come to be successful in those terms, I really have embraced the downtime. And I usually am doing things. And even, I talked about, I have to take a life day tomorrow. I'm not going to be so focused on what I'm doing the whole time. Like when I'm grocery shopping, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, should I get this apple or this apple?
Mhm.
Um, I'll let my mind wander, and I'll be thinking about who knows what I'll be thinking about. I don't know. But
Yeah.
a long time ago, I don't remember how long ago it was now, Cyrus, we talked, and I mentioned something about the Greek philosophers. And
Mm.
I said how we have so much more knowledge and information now, but we spend so little time investigating our inner selves, our thoughts and our feelings, that we are not nearly as smart as the Greek philosophers, who had no internet, no television, no
Yeah.
whatever, but they spent hours contemplating life and the universe and relationships and whatever they were contemplating. And they had so much more insight and knowledge than we have. We have information, and information is not the same as knowledge.
Yeah.
And so I really lean into trying to spend those times when I can, when I'm not focused on something, um, to really just let my mind wander and explore, the inner universe, so to speak.
Yeah. And I think to tie into what you're just saying then, Allie, and to realize just that, doing that is just as important as everything else. And I think a lot of times we are made to feel like by not doing, something that other people deem as productive or important, that
Right.
diminishes it. And I
Yeah.
think what you just said is so important for our audience, is to remember that you're taking that time, even in doing nothing, just visiting,
Hmm.
uh, you know, is just as important. Because I think about, I used to, when my great grandmother was living, Allie, you made me think about when you mentioned that term. She had a routine on Saturday. She'd get out her little notebook, which is why I mean like notebooks today, and she'd have her phone numbers of her friends written in there, and she would have me call them, and she'd talk on the phone with them for about 15-20 minutes, and then we'd hang up, and she'd call the next one, and she would do that for an hour or so, and but that was her connecting time,
Yeah.
but also was her time to pour into somebody else, to find
Yeah.
out about them. And I think, that's a great reminder for us too, that sometimes all someone needs us to do is to sit with them.
Right.
We don't have to be doing some big thing, which ties into this part of the message, Allie. You say, once you know your ambition, you can take that first step, deciding to make a change. What do you want our audience to know about the importance of the decision?
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about that in a very early chapter, which was Lao Tzu, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And I
Yep,
said,
yeah.
I actually disagreed. I thought
Mm-hmm.
the journey begins with deciding to take that step,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I used the analogy at the time of, if you can go to the gym, if you can get to the gym, half your workout is done.
Yeah.
Right? Like your workout is half done if you can just get to the gym, because you have to make a conscious choice to make a change, whatever that
Mm-hmm.
change in your life is you want, whatever goal it is you want to reach. You actually have to decide you're willing to put in the effort and do whatever it takes to get there. Because if
Yeah.
you don't do it, if you don't say, all right, I'm doing it, you'll never get around to doing it. Nobody just takes a step without thinking about it. Like that
Yeah.
doesn't happen, you
Yeah.
know? So you have to consciously decide to make the change, whatever that change is for you. And
Yeah.
then you can begin.
So true. And that's why you're saying to be bold. I think it's so important. Chris says, born too late to discover the world and born too early to explore the stars. Oh, I like that.
Mm.
That's and I think it for us. Hey, Melvina, good to be to see you over there on IG. I think for all of us, this message is such a great one. And who would have known that Dr. Seuss could be so profound and give us something that
Anybody
would,
who's read Dr. Seuss?
you know. But I think when it comes to life, you could see them why Dr. Seuss is so popular, right? I think because in the middle of the strange animals and everything, the antics, there are these great little nuggets that are there. So, Allie, your final thoughts. What are your hope for our audience when it comes to them not only being bold in life, but also just taking time to be? What would you like to say to them?
I would say don't let society, friends, family, culture dictate what you should or shouldn't do.
Hmm.
Don't let other people decide for you what you want to do. Look inside yourself and figure that out for yourself. Spend those few quiet moments, whether you're grocery shopping or mowing the lawn or taking out the trash or doing all those things that need to get done, commuting to work. And spend that time just letting your thoughts go and think about, what is it you enjoy? Where do you want to be in life? It's actually never too late to start.
Yeah.
It's the saying is the best time to start was yesterday, and the next best time is right now.
Right.
So, don't wait, don't put it off. And just really, and there's no rush either,
Yeah.
so just live and enjoy and be happy with who you are.
There we go. You're hearing it from the author herself. Again, everyone, Allie Dalsimer and myself, thank you so much for being with us for It's Okay Not to Be Fabulous Every Day. We're on countdown now. Have just a few more episodes left of this third and final season. If you have not gotten Allie's book, while we were together last week in Virginia, I got mine signed. But you can still get yours on Amazon, either the print edition, the Kindle edition, or the audiobook as well. Allie, let our audience know, how can they stay connected with you and how they can be able to sign up for your newsletter and catch up with your other shows. So, what's your process?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I want to thank you for those who complimented the outfit. I chose purple today because anybody who knows Barney, purple is the color that's fun, fun, fun. And I think that that's important. And to stay in touch with me, you can find me on the socials, primarily Instagram at Allie Dalsimer. And my website is alliedalsimer.com. If you add /newsletter, you can sign up for my newsletter. It comes out every week. It's just a quick and dirty, either an author update or useful tools and tips for, I think the last one was how to develop resilience in the face of obstacles. And our podcast, my son and I have a podcast where we talk with creatives from all fields about what they do and how they do it. It's called So What's Your Process? You can find us at Instagram or on YouTube under So What's Your Process, all one word. And we've had a couple great episodes, and our last episode that dropped yesterday was Alana Saunders. She's an actress who got her break on Broadway and Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which I happened to see. I got a last minute middle ticket to that, and it was kind of cool. So I recognized her when my son was in a performance with her, and in Connecticut, and it was kind of cool to see her talk about people that you feel like you know, even though you've never actually met them. I totally felt like I knew her.
Wow.
She didn't know
Wow.
me,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was kind of cool. So, and I would love
Awesome.
to hear from folks. Please do, sign up for the newsletter, buy my book if you want, reach out to me. I would really love to connect.
Love that. Definitely buy the book. As you can see, there are a lot of great messages and reminders in here. So definitely something for you guys to be able to use for yourself, but also to be able to share with others as well. Allie, enjoyed it as always. Looking forward to next week.
I am as well. Thank you,
Mm,
Cyrus, and thanks to everybody for tuning in today.
definitely. Hope you guys have a great rest of your February. See you guys in March. The social media diva, hello to you over there on IG. And Chris says the man pursued a doctorate so he could tell the world that green eggs and ham is delicious. I love that.
That's right.
That's such a great thing. And we definitely thank you all for watching this episode of It's Okay Not to Be Fabulous Every Day. Until next time, y'all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.